Hi, my name is Miles Gray, and you are on Pandooradom. Thank you for joining us today, fellow Pandooranauts. Here I am sitting in the safe room of our apartment, looking out onto a great spread of trees and buildings, but it's all waving in the wind. Paul, Paul Cradle, have you joined us?
Yes.
Excellent.
What's up?
Great
What's
to have you
happening?
back on. Not much. How
Yeah,
are
nice to
you?
see you again. Yeah,
Yes,
well, pretty good. I think a lot has happened since the last time we recorded when my
yes.
daughter was going to the hospital, unfortunately. So it's been a while. She's better
And
now.
good, good. I'm
And
glad to hear that.
we apologize for yet again not being able to thoroughly follow through on what we said was owed you, which was asking you about your cable TV experience. So if there's anything, I wish we could have done more of a Q&A, but I didn't really know when to hop back in, and it was kind of a tense time anyway for me. So
Well,
let me know if you want to run that to follow through with that to completion. That's fine with me.
sure.
I think
Well,
I
no
actually
need, no,
still owe you
sure.
that. Back to you, Miles.
Thank you, Paul. No need to apologize. I do think that you were going through a pretty difficult time, and luckily, as we kind of make progress and cover the miles, we'll sort of kind of keep everything in place, and we'll get to the right destination. So
Yeah,
I
cover the miles, the falling. Yeah, go on.
oh my gosh, yeah. Uh we're gonna run out of puns based on our names pretty soon. Uh
Yeah.
glad we got that out of our system. Uh but I did want to say that yeah, I was thinking a fair amount about, you know, your daughter going to the hospital because one of the things we talked about was how the two of us having grown up in the United States largely as children anyway, we
Mm.
uh we
Myself
were
entirely. I don't know about you.
well, what I mean is grown up as children, yes, but I mean you're still growing up when you're a young
Oh,
man, and both of
oh,
us
right,
have mostly grown
right.
up. I would say both of us pretty much came of age in a certain sense abroad, namely in East
Oh, yeah,
Asia,
for
I would
sure.
say,
For
China.
sure. Yeah, for sure. I came into adulthood outside the United States and
Right.
never myself quite came into it back in the United States. So
Right.
basically, I've never been a US adult. I don't know what it's like to adult in the US as far as a daily commute or the rat race, or I don't know what those people do. I've tried, but no. And I don't know. You've probably had more of an adulting experience in the US than I have. It sounds like you have, from what I've
I mean,
heard.
I don't know. I
And
think, the what did I actually do for work before I left? I left in 2008 during the recession, and that was the last time I've lived there. It now being 2024. So I
okay,
was
okay.
I was in my,
Oh,
how old was I? 2008. Let's see,
you
it's
must have been
16.
27 or
So, yeah, so I was
yeah.
let me,
Okay,
yeah,
so yeah, I think you must have been 26 or 27. So yeah, I think you have.
I was 24,
Oh, you were 24 in 2007.
2008.
Oh, in '08 you were 24.
I should have been.
Oh, oh, I thought you were older. Oh my
No.
gosh. Okay,
So
so yeah, so that's like almost the same as me then.
yeah,
Yeah,
we're
just
pretty close. But I
yeah.
mean, so I saw what I'm trying to say is I came of age, sort of, but I was, I was essentially. I mean, what? Let's see. Hold on a minute. So I left in 2008. But prior to that, I had gone to college for 4 years, but I didn't get the degree because of financial problems at the time.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was
and I
taking
guess,
out that student loan though. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I do apologize. Hold on. Oh, that's never good during a video when your phone alarm goes off. I do.
Oh,
So I do actually have to go in a moment to pick up the children. I just wanted to make a quick uh little video here.
oh
So
yeah, that's at
I,
least to
I
be in the swing of things.
right.
Whether it's
So
posted or not, that's fine. Might as well go ahead and post it, because just to be getting stuff out there. I think the YouTube algorithm picks up on maybe your consistency. So
yeah, I think that's important to be consistent. Even if we have rather sorry video, oh, I'm sorry, sorry videos to begin with. I, I do believe that, it's a, you know, it's a stairway to heaven. So hopefully within a certain amount of time, we will have gotten somewhere. I did want to say though, so I would like to do a further Q&A about some of
mhm.
my experiences on public
Yeah,
access in Richmond, which we can
yeah,
do.
yeah.
I think we can make it sort of a mixed episode next time round because what we wanted to talk about primarily for this episode, which we're not really going to have time to do, is how
Playground.
playgrounds, yeah, how playgrounds are different today as compared to yesteryear. Specifically, there seems to be this trend of modern playgrounds being ultra safe and almost impossible to get really hurt on. I mean, of course you can, but you'd have to get much more
Yeah,
creative. Whereas,
yeah,
back in the
yeah.
90s and the 80s, I'd say the 80s, 90s, I don't know exactly what the cutoff date would be. It might be regional as well as to when it started to become ultra safe. But probably designers, municipalities were involved. I can imagine that cities said to the very groups that they were commissioning to build these playgrounds, no, 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 we don't want these kinds of liabilities. Please make, I don't know how the supply and demand aspect of this worked on the ground, but ultimately there was this change from these, rusting, splintered seesaws into these dinky little spring-based, uh, you know,
Yeah.
toddler teeter totters. I mean, it's really it's a very strange thing. It feels almost like a padded room, like your hands are you're in a straitjacket and you just can't hurt yourself.
I'm sure you have plenty of experience with that, Miles.
Okay, that's
No,
okay.
but
All right.
yeah, it would be interesting.
Oh, yes,
What's
yes.
the reasoning for all the padding and the rounded corners and things and all the foam rubber pavement? Was
Oh,
that
me like
really
rounded
for
corners.
liability purposes? Yeah, was it for liability purposes from the city, or was it from just parent groups who really didn't want their kid to be hurt? Yeah,
Right, that's another aspect.
that's an the city's
I
not
don't,
wanting to be sued or parents not wanting kids to be hurt. Maybe
right.
it's some combination of the two. Um,
It'd be
and
interesting to
in
look at a
the
history of that.
first place, in the first place, though, why would parents want to sue? Why would parents be so litigious? Is that the right word? Litigi. litigious. Is that help me, Miles? Is it litigious?
Yeah, I got you. I got you.
I
No
only
worries.
know words. I only know the spelling. I often don't know how to say words. But that means I learned it in a book. Speaking of books, I one book I'm reading just now by Theodore Dreiser, The Financier. That's how you say it. Financier. Financier.
Yeah, that's it. That's
It's
I
about
we specifically covered that word in one of my classes recently. Nobody knows how to pronounce that properly.
so I guess rhymes with entrepreneur, financier. I don't know. So it's about contracts. It's about contracts being awarded. I'm not finished with it. I'm about a quarter way through. It's about contracts being awarded. It's during the Civil War times. Contracts being awarded by the city for raising money, and then the city treasurer having all this leniency to just basically day trade, like the equivalent of day trading. But back then, what that might have been, like the city treasurer was allowed to basically day trade the city funds however he wanted, as long as it was put back in the account. And so I guess
Wow.
where this book is going, probably something about contracts being awarded by the city and somebody not being able to pay something back. I can only guess right now. This
That's
Theodore Dreiser takes forever to get a story going, so basically everything happens in the second half.
It would be
But I
interesting to
just thought it
discuss
was
that actually, in one of our episodes, because that actually sounds kind of curious.
so I just thought it was a kind of a synchronicity that you would mention city contracts,
Yeah,
because
it is
but I just
definitely a synchronicity. A synchronicity. All right. I thought I got the puns out of my system, but apparently I was wrong. This is good. I see. So I did want to. So sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to give a quick summation here that we wanted to talk about parks and specifically how parks are perhaps too
Mhm,
safe today compared
mhm.
to the real making kids tough kind of parks of yesteryear
Yeah.
and what effects that may have on children. I mean, it's not just the parks, but the parks
Yeah.
are a reflection of a greater cultural shift towards
Yeah.
perhaps
Yeah.
a bit over the top safety measures put in place. It's easier said than done. I mean, I as a parent myself can understand
Mhm.
the fear. Uh,
Yeah.
and it also depends on where you live, because I would say, there are parts of the world where uh, really your fears are not justified to the extent that the danger is really there. Or I should say, they're not in the same measure. But if you're raising your kids in the middle of a war zone, then your crazy, obsessive fear about them wandering out of your eyesight, or out of your line of view is quite justified, you know. So I think
Yeah.
it's a question of relativity to a certain degree, but it's also a matter of
Mhm.
statistics, because even in the safest place in the world, a child walking out of your, I can't think of the word here, your range of view, your
Mm.
range of vision. What is the word? I can't think of it in English today. Line of sight, something to that effect. Them walking out of your field of vision, walking out of your field of vision, they kind of
Oh,
stray
no.
past the
You're
fence, and for a
not the
few
word I
moments
was thinking.
you don't see them. But
Uh-huh.
statistically, things can and do happen. If you look at not just the statistics, but even parents. Hold on. Yeah, shalom.
You're
Me,
taking the call.
Soli, Ken, shalom. Uh, Uh, פשוט דקה. Ryan, I have to go, man. I'm sorry. Yeah, I have to go. Sorry.
All right.
סליחה, אני פשוט